at WFB9 has joined us as LSU is getting ready for Omaha. Saints had mini camp yesterday, a busy time. JD, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Noah. I appreciate that extra.
I noticed that too.
Sounded good.
Thank you very much. Well, we appreciate your time, as we do every single Wednesday. You were out at Saints mini camp yesterday, or you had some clips of Garrett Nussmeier, Tyrann Mathieu talking about DJ Pickett, the whole deal. Talk about what you saw yesterday, what you heard, and everything involved.
Well, the first thing was fans were back out there for the first time in a long time, so the stands were packed. You had a lot of kids out there who were, I guess, out of school for the summer. They would chant a player's name, and then a lot of Alvin Kamara chants, and then Alvin would throw his hand up and wave and acknowledge them, and they would all cheer. So a lot of positive, give and take from the fans and the team, even though the expectations for this team aren't very high. We know that the city of New Orleans lives and dies with that NFL football team, and they're going to be there supporting them no matter what. So that was good to see. And then you had guys that had not been in the OTAs that were there, your Cam Jordans, your Alvin Kamaras. Certainly enjoyed a nice, lengthy conversation with Tyrann Mathieu, who's chopped all his hair off. A lot of people noticed that immediately. Oh, all his hair's gone. And he joked that he was trying to get some years back or look younger or capture the fountain of youth. So in the grand scheme of things, in any other walk of life, he's a very young man, just turned 33 years old. But for a defensive back in the NFL, he's getting up there a bit. So had a good time talking with him. He gave the funny soundbite about, I said, can you believe it's been 14 years since you played at LSU? 2011 being his last season. He goes, yeah, I'm reminded of it every day. I'll be in Rouse's and old white women start yelling, hey, honey badger, and so it's been a while since he played at LSU, and he's looking forward to teaming up with Justin Reed, who he's played with in the past at Houston. Justin Reed's locker right next to his. Of course, the former Dutchtown Griffin, who was a soccer player for a large part of his life before Benny Seo, who was the head coach at Dutchtown, said, hey, let's play some football. And so that's worked out pretty well. So, good energy there. A lot of, for years, the Saints were criticized by LSU fans for passing on LSU players. Certainly I have covered my share of draft parties, whether it was Jarvis Landry or Patrick Queen, when the Saints were up on the clock and you're keeping your fingers crossed that the Saints would pick them and they went another direction. But now in the locker room, you look around, you got Foster Morrow, you got Will Clapp, you got Tyrann Mathieu, you get Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you got Justin Reed, who of course didn't go to LSU, but it's a local guy. So there is a bit of a Louisiana movement on the team right now. And, it's all fresh and new. I think expectations, like I said, are low, but at least I think people are willing to get behind this because it isn't just, hey, we're going to try to copy and paste what we did with Sean Payton and Dennis Allen. I think that's going to move forward. We have a fresh set of ideas and coaches in here. And yes, Garrett Nussmeier was out there signing autographs and kind of watching practice. And, his dad obviously is the offensive coordinator of the Saints now, but that's not going to stop people from saying that this is, all in the master plan to draft him next year. So let it be what it is.
Amen. Yeah, no, I mean, it caught some fire on social media yesterday when they saw Nussmeier standing next to Kellen Moore chatting it up. Everyone thought they were looking into the future.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's no different than, I guess, just at a different age. I mean, there's plenty of stories that Nick Saban, I'm sure, can tell about seeing Garrett Nussmeier when he was a little kid and his dad was the offensive coordinator with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Unfortunately, it's a very, very bad memory for LSU fans in 2012, but Nussmeier called the screen pass to TJ Yeldon in the flat there and ran it into the north end zone to rip LSU's heart out in that game. And Nussmeier was a little kid rooting for the Alabama Crimson Tide. But then after that, I think rooting for LSU. So that video that you're playing right now, WVUE, our sister station, who's a great partner in New Orleans, captured that video yesterday, and just a nice day out there, a fun day. Certainly, the Saints not ducking the heat of the day. I mean, they went out there and practiced at noon yesterday, and even for early June, pretty hot and sweaty out there.
And then last one from minicamp yesterday, you got the quote of Tyrann with some high praise for LSU football freshman DJ Pickett, comparing him to a cross between Chad Jones and Patrick Peterson. Your thoughts on that comparison, as well as your expectations for the star freshman?
Well, I'm never going to second guess Tyrann Mathieu. When I think of those two guys, I think they're kind of thick, right? I mean, I think that they're kind of meaty guys, and Pickett is a bit tall and lean. He's going to put some weight on. He already has put on some weight. I think he's a little bit more rangy than those two guys, and those two guys were big hitters too, if I remember correctly. Patrick Peterson and Chad Jones certainly leveled their share of guys, but. If that's what Tyrann Mathieu says, then I'm all on board with it. So he said, I think he's going to be the next great one, referring to Pickett. So high praise from Tyrann, and certainly I was refreshing my memory. Tyrann Mathieu was not coached by Corey Raymond at LSU. He was coached by Ron Cooper while he was there, and Mathieu himself said, Raymond came in the year I got thrown off in 2012. So. And we also talked about the fact, look, when Derek Stingley signs the contract he just signed and gets, $89 million guaranteed or something like that, and the new players are coming in and they see that and they know about Corey Raymond and sending guys to the NFL, that's a huge recruiting tool in itself. When a guy signs that kind of contract in the league and played at LSU and the DB's coach is still there. So, yeah, I think that, certainly we got to be careful about putting too much pressure on a true freshman, but we know that he's been out there practicing with the team since the bowl game, and certainly in today's modern era with NIL and whatnot, they're pretty much pros when they step on campus. So I'm excited to see him play this year.
As are we. And turn the page to LSU baseball. Obviously, Omaha has become a common thing for LSU over the last 40 years, as I think 20 of those years there's been trips to Omaha. It is the second trip for Jay Johnson in his tenure at LSU, obviously winning the Natty in 2023. And what was an impressive weekend for the Tigers in their 2 wins over West Virginia. Talk about what you saw this weekend as LSU punched their ticket.
Well, great minds think alike. No, that was crossing my brain this morning as I'm thinking, wow, 20 trips to Omaha. They made their first one in 1986. 1986, crazy as it sounds for some of us, is going to be 40 years ago next year. So, yeah, the program's going to Omaha every other year, which is ridiculous. But it just goes to show you how this thing can go and how you live on the edge and live on the brink. You're losing 5-1 to Little Rock on a Monday night, and worried that it's going to be a disaster. And Mikey came in and chatted with us and said it would have been a huge embarrassment and whatnot. And you come back and you win that game, and then you get out there this past weekend and the bats come alive. I think as Coach Riley wrote in his article, Stephen Milam was batting .211 in SEC play. He comes through with a huge opposite way home run. Derek Curiel the same on Saturday. I think it's good we're not playing another weekend at the box, because that's about as hot as fans can take for a game. It was just sweltering out there on Saturday. I heard about a lot of people passing out and whatnot, but and that's why you want to play at home. I mean, West Virginia obviously hadn't dealt with heat and conditions like that. You don't maybe think of strength and conditioning in baseball like you do other sports, because a lot of the guys are stationary out there most of the time, but it really does play a factor. And then, Sunday, some grumpiness, very similar to the first game against Kentucky in the Super Regional 2 years ago, when I think that game was scheduled for early afternoon, and they don't play till 9 o'clock at night. We're staring at the sky. It's sunny all day. There's no thunder. And why is the game getting delayed this much? But, good things come to those who wait. It was worth the wait. And LSU, they jumped out to the 6-0 lead. West Virginia gets back in. It cuts it to 6-4. And then LSU puts the pedal to the metal to really distance themselves. So I'm not going to say it was an easy draw or anything like that, but that's why you have the regular season you have, and try to win as many games to set yourself up. As you go back way long ago, 2010, when you don't win enough games and you get sent out to UCLA and have to take on a team like that, you don't get to go to Omaha. So exciting time of year. They're going to have this send-off here in about half an hour or so. It's at 9:30 over at the box, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of fans out there. John Eads will be making the trip to cover for us in Omaha. There is no person that is more deserving in the media than John to go cover the team in the midst of football season and us being inundated with football. He's the guy that wants to drive 2.5 hours to Biloxi and back to cover exhibition fall ball games, and I don't think we've ever covered as many preseason scrimmages, practices, all that stuff. He went out there without me ever telling him to go. He did it on his own. He's been to all the games, been to all the trips, or a lot of the trips, and so he'll be heading up there for us. And I was there 2 years ago. Professional highlight, was there for 2 weeks at the time of my life covering that team. The incredible send-offs from the hotel, the fans hanging from the ceiling. Must have been what it was like to be in the Beatles or Taylor Swift or whatever, because it was unbelievable, the LSU fans that were there supporting the team and the games they won and coming out of the losers bracket and all the heroes that came together to win that. And now, it looks a lot more wide open to me. You're playing Arkansas, who might be the best. I mean, Jay called them in his press conference yesterday the most talented team in the field, which might put a little pressure on Arkansas and maybe motivate his team at the same time. LSU did take 2 of 3, but that doesn't really matter in anything now. It's all about this game, and if they can win that game, I really don't feel like there's any juggernauts in the field like there was in 2023 when Wake Forest just had an amazing team, and LSU had to beat them twice to get to the championship.
Jacques, you're a music historian, I would say. You just referenced the Beatles. You obviously understand music. There was a clip that came out from the LSU fan base, and it made me feel old, which was sad, and it's happening more and more. But they were singing the West Virginia Mountain Mama, Take Me Home, Country Roads. They had to print out the lyrics for one of the easiest songs to know the hook, line, and sinker to. I just didn't know if you caught that and what your thoughts were on it.
Well, of course, the great John Denver sold millions of albums in the 1970s. I think Country Road, Take Me Home, maybe that was, 72, 73, something like that. I can jam to, Motley Crue, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Van Halen, and I love some John Denver too. I mean, if you can have a hit song and sing about Rocky Mountain High, Colorado, and Sunshine on My Shoulder makes me happy and all that, I mean, you are a unique dude. So I would think that, singing in the shower or whatever, I mean, growing up, I remember, my dad was not much for lyrics, but he would sing that damn song all the time. Country roads take me home to the place. West Virginia, Mountain, sing that chorus all the time. And then I'm like, hey, Dad, how about we start with Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, and Shenandoah River, But yeah, I would think that of all the choruses to know, you should know John Denver, Country Roads, Take Me Home. I mean, that's elementary in my book. There was a god-awful remake, I think in the 90s. Somebody did like a techno, high-energy remake of Country Roads, and it was awful. But it was kind of like in the same vein. Lloyd, you remember, the cotton I drove, I've been there. Same thing along those lines. Yeah, John Denver, one of the great songwriters and performers of our time. I think he died in a plane crash in the late 90s. Another victim of the small personal airplane. Just don't do it, man. There's just been too many people over the years. So anyway, that's a long rant on your question.
I appreciate it. But the techno version also used to scream through the Party All the Time room in the Kappa Sig house. We had the techno version of West Virginia Mountain Mama, Take Me Home, Country Roads, and it was a time at 4 a.m. But I digress.
Yeah.
My next question is, you got to catch up with the man in left field who, the man with the strongest hands in the South, was able to catch a home run ball, and I just wanted to get your perspective of that interview because he was all-time LSU fan.
Well, because, I stayed up there with the interview we did with the outbeat in Hoover after the SEC tournament, and this guy was annoying everybody with his whistling. But, it's a simple thing. It's like, has anybody talked to this guy since he caught the home run and made the golden statue out of him and all that? And so I walked out there to left field. I got a nice assist from my friend Brianna Underwood. She sent me a text. She said, "Hey, Mikey's out here if you want to talk to him." And so I went out there, and just everybody loves this guy. I mean, he was beloved long before catching this home run ball and going viral. And so, the reason he held the ball up like that apparently was that during the Super Regional against Coastal Carolina back in 2016, some guy hit a home run and Mikey missed it, and somebody next to him got plowed by the home run, and he got embarrassed by it or whatever. So Mikey wasn't letting that happen again, and LSU wasn't letting that happen again. They weren't going to get Stony Brook. So Mikey catches the ball, he holds it up, he's excited about it, and I went and chatted with him about it. He did joke that he's never had so many people call him fat on social media. He feels bad for real celebrities, so to speak. But he was a real good sport, and the ball did make it back to Derek Curio. He said, "I'm not interested in souvenirs or getting it signed or whatever." Hey, he deserves to have the ball, and said he was happy for Derek and he was happy for LSU. He's a class act fan. And certainly that's what makes LSU separate and different from other schools. These kind of stories and things just don't happen at other places in the country.
We have a new member of our team, which is Lloyd's cousin, Jonathan. He has been dubbed Kinfolk by our chat.
Hey, Jacques.
And we're trying to train him and let him get comfortable asking questions. So we figured there was no one better for him to get his first couple of questions in with than you, the ultimate professional. And so, Jonathan, take it away.
I'm impressed with your wide range of knowledge on so many subjects. So I kind of thought I'd hit you with three getting to know you questions, so we can become best friends like you and Lloyd and Noah.
Okay.
I'm going to hit you with these and answer as much or as little as you like. Number one, who's your favorite LSU athlete of all time, any sport, and why is it Lloyd Cushenberry?
Oh,
just kidding about that last part. That's an inside joke from here. I know it's hard, but
yeah. Lloyd Cushenberry. Hey, I love Lloyd Cushenberry. Is that what you said?
Yeah, no. Sorry, that's an inside joke we have here. I got nervous. I threw in a joke at the end.
Great Cushenberry from high school. I think that my favorite LSU now known as Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. You're most impressionable when you're the youngest, and I don't know if I've ever seen a guy just captivate crowds, audiences. I was too young to see Pistol Pete, so I missed that, but I just remember this guy going out, scoring 53 points against Florida in his first SEC game, just the crossover, the pull-up from anywhere on the floor, the grace. I mean, the guy could get up and dunk when he was a freshman, and I don't even think they said he was 6'1". He was probably more like 5'11" or something. Just the way he played the game and everything.
That's an incredible answer. That's my number 3, actually. Huge Chris Jackson fan. I love it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, we broke up, but yeah, no, that's what I was looking for. Number 2, not sports related. Coming at you from a different angle. The Godfather or Goodfellas?
Well, The Godfather, you're talking about 3 movies, and The Goodfellas is just one, right? You're talking just the original Godfather?
Yeah, let's put 1 and 2 together, and we'll forget that 3 ever happened.
Yeah, let's see. I just think I love them both, and they're both very quotable movies. Certainly, I think that Goodfellas has one of the most annoying characters ever. It was a bit part. It's the girl with, I don't care. I don't go anywhere without my lucky hat. It's my lucky hat. I don't go anywhere without. I mean, I could not stand her. Every time I see that scene, but Godfather is just so classical. The music, the soundtrack, the acting, and the fact that it was made so long ago and still you can watch it and it doesn't feel dated. Like, you watch Scarface and, Scarface is great.
Scarface doesn't really hold
but
up
it's
the same.
so 80s, right? And Goodfellas doesn't have that. I mean, you can watch Goodfellas as well, but I just say Godfather. I'd say Godfather, Goodfellas.
And the toss-up goes to the hat lady character. I dig that. Okay, and then the third one, and this is going actually way worse than I anticipated, so thanks for sticking with me. The third one is, did Lee Harvey Oswald act alone, sir?
Well, I'm sorry, what was the last one?
Did Lee Harvey Oswald act alone?
Oh, man, loaded question.
I know.
It was a loaded gun.
You know, the boring answer is say yes, he did act alone. That the shot wasn't that hard to make. That he climbed up there by himself and was in the library, the book, whatever they call it, and depository. What is it?
Book depository. Sixth floor.
Yeah. Not a suppository. That's something different.
No, a book suppository is.
Is that how you learn? You've been reading the wrong way this whole time.
So much.
But it's, I watched so many things on JFK and his assassination. There was a guy who passed away a few years back. His name, they called him Whitey. He worked on Air Force One. He was on Air Force One the day that they flew back from Dallas, and JFK's body is on the plane, and Lyndon Johnson's there and stuff. And he claimed that there was it was almost like a jovial feeling on the plane. Like people were happy about it and stuff. And this is what they wanted. And a move was made. And, we want to get Lyndon Johnson in power and this and that. And so, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a feeling that somebody as weak and meek as Lee Harvey Oswald could not pull off something so huge and take down the most powerful man in the world. But maybe that's exactly what had happened. JFK, great movie, not factually correct,
no.
Right? With who's that guy with three names? Tommy Lee Jones. He was in that.
Covered in gold paint.
But I'll be very boring and say yes. Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone.
Well, I really appreciate you tolerating me. And now that I got these three awful, awkward questions out of the way, it'll be very professional and normal moving forward. You're the best. Thank you so much.
No, ain't nothing awkward about that. Hell, I mean, that was easy peasy right there, man. So I love the pop culture questions, and you referenced 1986. Here's your last bit of useless information. 1986. That was the first Van Hagar album after David Lee Roth left Van Halen, 5150, which are the last four digits of my cell phone, and have been since 2001. So there you go.
Well, JD, thank you
so
very much.
Best.
For joining us this morning and dealing with us once again as another week in the books.
Thanks for having me. That was all off the top of my head. No teleprompter, no nothing.
There you go. The best in the biz.
What do y'all have coming up at WFB, Jacques?
I've got a Jacques talk today with Mikey Montook and Anthony Renato are coming in, and Patrick Coogan's supposed to come by today as well. John Eads is on his way to Omaha today, and we'll have video of the LSU send-off as the baseball team gathers to hit the road, and we'll have some more Saints. Their second day of minicamp, so a lot on the docket today.
Well, all right. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, Noah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. There he is, the best in the business, and it's only been more confirmed.
Dad?
That was